Hello, hello.
Hi, Call It Crew. I'm laughing because, Jessica, do you know that you have a signature? Jessica, do you know that you have a signature hello to our listeners? It's always hello, 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 Call It
I
Crew. And
know.
now I feel like I can't ever start the pod because I'm like, that's the good vibe to start our pod always.
I actually did notice that I just recently noticed that that's how I start it. And I'm hoping that's a good thing. That's the way the
It's the
spirit moves me
best.
when we start these off. And I also always get to look at your face, so I get all excited. Maybe that's my when I see your face now, I'll just say hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna add this move in now. We need to hello,
Shoulder
hello,
shimmy.
hello. It's a little shoulder shimmy.
Yeah, it's a little
Hello,
shoulder
hello,
shimmy.
hello. If you're
Hello, hello,
listening.
Camilla Luddington.
Hello, Jessica Capshaw. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I'm very excited to be here with you today. My morning started off a little rougher around the edges than I really wanted it to.
Let's
Nothing
talk about
tragic,
it.
nothing of great import, just more a rainy day. A rainy day on the East Coast during a week that the kids are in tennis camp,
Hmm.
and tennis is played outside.
Yeah.
And when it rains, tennis would probably be less enjoyable and or just not
Yeah.
possible, right? Because the
I
court's
don't
just you
know.
can't play on it. um, None of this really was stopping me from sending them.
No.
No, I was like, they're gonna go, and they all looked at me. Normally they don't even think it's a possibility to say like let's not go. They wouldn't even ask, but
Yeah.
for some reason they paused, and the pause normally doesn't make me pause. Like normally it's just, yeah, keep going, keep walking. But I paused and the double pause
Ooh.
gave way. Yeah, they paused and I paused. They saw a window
They
and they
saw the
slipped
window.
right in. They saw the window, they saw the crack
Yeah.
and they went for it. They were like, but it's raining. And then they all started talking really, really fast and explaining how when it
Yeah.
rains, that the campers go to the arena.
Where they get killed?
What's the arena?
Where the Hunger Games happen?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
that's what I
God.
saw. That's what I saw in my head. And then they said it smells like feet. The arena smells like feet.
That sounds a little District 12 to me.
Because now I'm an East Coaster. I thought, well, it must be a hockey rink. It must be like in the winter, it's a
Yeah.
hockey rink, right? And then the
Yeah.
summer, it's where you go when it rains, or you've been
Yeah.
very bad.
What is, wait, we need to know what the arena is because do we need to call the cops?
I don't know. We're gonna
You're
maybe
just,
well, I'm gonna explain more and you're gonna tell me what my next best step is. So
okay.
they said we go to the arena. They said it smells like feet. And then they
Hmm.
said, and we have to do fitness in the arena.
Oof.
Also, I haven't heard the word fitness in a while.
I know I just did a little wince because it brought back some memories.
Yeah, you bumped on it.
I did
Fitness.
because it was like, it brought back like school fitness.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Oh my gosh. That
No,
Monday when we had to run the mile, I mean, I would have done
no.
I think I did hide in the gym locker room a couple times.
Yeah,
Horrible.
negative 12 degrees out and you're in a hockey skirt. No, thanks.
Mm-mm. No, just running, by the way, which of course I've said
Oh,
before and I'll say again, I don't do unless chased. So, arena smells like feet,
yeah. Fitness.
fitness. And the crack widened. And I said, well,
Oof.
you're not doing that. Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. Oh, you did. Oh, so they're not at the arena.
No, that's why the morning took some
Oh,
detours for me.
because I thought they were there. I thought you're like, you're going to go and we're going to find out if you survive.
No, I let them not go. And it started pouring. So I thought, well, that's a solid choice. And then an hour later, when it was just drizzling, and they were like, Mom, 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 Mom,
Yeah.
Mom, 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 Mom. And I was like, what? And then Poppy looked at me with these sad, sad eyes. And she was like, ah, I wanted to ask you a question. And nope, that didn't soften me. You would have thought it would. The big
Mm,
blue eyes and
you know
nope, didn't
better.
soften.
You know
No, no, no,
better.
no, 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 no. I was just way too stuck in my
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm trying to work with like glowing eyes, fire coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, fire. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Lucas does that too. He's like, Mom, I just want to, he has this little husky, little like cute voice. He's like, I just want to ask a question. I'm like, okay, what's the question? He was like, in Toy Story, does Buzz? I'm like, that's not a question. That's not a question. We don't need to talk about Buzz Lightyear right now. It out at the arena today.
I know.
Are you kind of like, once it gets to a drizzle, maybe the arena is starting to look a little good.
Oh no, the arena started looking good. Didn't even have to get to drizzle. It was like 4 minutes after I made the decision that they were staying home. The arena sounded fine.
Yeah, fine.
It's
fine. You send them with a bow and arrow, and they're on their way, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, these kids have a nice life, you know. Yeah. Little adversity, little friction, a little something to bump up against.
You want to hear about my week
in the arena? Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. Well, I forgot I had booked my dad to come into town and stay with me. I literally had forgotten. I had booked his tickets so far out that I literally forgot he was coming to visit until like a few days before. And I was like, crap, because it's so busy and I definitely feel the pressure of people staying. But I also forget always. And I know that they can't listen, parents. I wish there was an age that you got to where parents were like, you know what? They've got it. Like they've got it. They're on their way. They've flown the nest. We don't need to give any more unsolicited advice. I'm going to throw out an example of just one of the things my dad said to me this week that made me want to take tequila shots. He was like, darling, he wanted to know about, investments, right? Because it's always like, it's always the subjects that are like, what are you doing with your life? Where is your, like it's always like the big things, right? So he was like, he wanted to talk about investments. And then he goes, Camilla, Elon Musk. Okay, because he will never get a name right. He goes, Elon Musk, Camilla, has come out with this sort of app AI that predicts the best like stocks and everything to invest. So you should really look into that. And I was like, great. These are the kind of gems I've been dealing with all week that just send me, that just seriously, or he'll say things like, he doesn't know how the film industry works at all. He's like, should you tell Grey's Anatomy that Joe is ready to be chief? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I should tell them. And that's probably going to happen. I'm going to go up to our showrunner, Meg, who I love, and go, hey, my dad thinks that Joe Wilson's ready to be chief on the show.
Uh-huh.
How are you feeling about that?
Yeah. Thoughts and feelings.
Thoughts and feelings. And then of course here's the other thing he does that's been driving me crazy all week. He loves our dogs. We have 3 rescue dogs. He loves our dogs. And he came in and he was like, darling, the dogs are so thirsty. And I was like, Dad, their dog bowl is like right over there. He goes, do they know where their bowl is? And I was like, no, Dad, for 2 years since we've lived here, they've actually just been wandering around the house, dying of thirst, trying to figure it out. I was like, yes, they know where their bowl is. Yes. And so honestly, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie Signs. In the movie Signs, okay, the alien movie with Mel Gibson, there's bowls of water fucking everywhere. Our house has about 100 bowls of water out right now for our dogs. There's a bowl in every corner in case our dogs round that corner and decide they're thirsty, forget where their OG bowl is, and need a drink. I'm not kidding. I took a video yesterday. And sent it to my siblings because I was like, it's sending me of my dad filling up the 20th bowl of water outside because there was a corner of the yard that didn't have a bowl. So that's been my week. Super chill. I can't.
I think he was looking for some purpose and he was wrapping it up in his ability to give your dog some water.
It's so annoying. I'm going to take, actually, you know what? I'm going to make a collage of all the water bowls are out right now. and so just for this episode. But yeah, why do they come with so much advice?
Okay, well, I said I see you so deeply on that because for whatever, maybe there's something in the water right now. Maybe there's something in the
In
stars
the water bowls.
because in the water bowls because I had a recent like the bigger family, like not just our
Yes.
family, but like the bigger my family of origin, and so lots of time, and it's so much fun. And
Is it the whole gang go for the summer and stay together? Is that what
yeah,
you
but I mean,
picture?
kind of like a couple, yeah, but like some in and out and all that.
Okay.
But you know, my mom and I are very close, and it's a great time to have lots of family togetherness and everything else. And I love spending time with her. She's one of my favorite people. So much fun. And this week, she just every once in a while would like sort of have like just a note for the suggestion box,
Oh,
like just you know some helpful little tidbit. And
yeah.
she's so sweet. She's been listening to the podcast, which is so fantastic, and I feel so loved and super just happy and supported. And she's also just sort of had a couple notes for how I've been talking.
Oh no. Oh my God. I don't even want to know what Mama Capshaw would say about what I say. Because I think you're perfect on the pod. And when I listen to the edit back, I'm like, oh God. Let's just skip to Jess.
No, I think you're perfect. I think you're perfect. But there's just been like a couple things.
What are we allowed to know one of the suggestion box suggestions?
Well, okay,
are?
so this particular instance was, and I was talking, I was saying something, and I said the word she, like she did something or she went
Yeah.
somewhere, and my mother said,
Oh.
do you notice that when you say she, you really put a strong emphasis on the sh, like you really say she,
Oh.
huh? She said, yeah, it's not just she, it's she.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What do you do with that?
Which, by the way, well, and also just want to put this in there. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I do. All of a sudden, I'm now aware of the fact that I don't say she. I say she.
You know what? I think here's a funny thing. When I listen to the pod, I think that you sound so like regal almost with your American accent, okay? And I think I think that when I came here, it's not my natural accent. I think I've adopted some sort of like Laguna Beach slur. I think it sounds like I'm like 20 martinis in sometimes. And I'm also, you know, I can't like the comparison. I sound drunk.
No, you don't.
Like I just sound sloppy is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I think I sound very sloppy, and I'm like, why is that what I adopted? You know, like I'm
all
on,
that reality
I'm
TV.
On, no, yeah. Oh my God, bravo!
Because you were raised on reality.
Oh my God, you're right. I need to start watching. I don't know, something more. Succession.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think American accents are anything but regal, but I will take that compliment, and I will tell you, I think
regal
you sound
compared
perfect.
to me.
My mother we really had some notes for the she, and so I was like, okay, great. So I just sort of went, okay, because again, like she's correct. So then I don't even know what it was, but I was saying something else, and she said something about that. I don't remember what it was, and I was trying to think back on my own advice, which of course we keep saying, like, be your best advocate, be your number one fan. So like listen to your own advice. Yeah. And I said something along the lines of, love you so much. Thanks for the feedback. My suggestion box is not open right now.
Yes.
Not taking suggestions. But I appreciate it. And I think we're good. And we speak in humor, so she completely got that was my zip it, please, lady. Zip. Hey, lady, zip it.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't unring a bell, and now she's in my head, and
you're going to hear
she might never be the same. I'm not sure. And then, actually, funnily enough, again, going back to I'm with a lot of family these days. Maybe like the next day, I'm talking to my sister, and I said something, and she looked at me and she said, you know, you do the Kardashian R.
Oh my God, wait, what is that? What's the Kardashian R?
Well, I actually weirdly knew exactly what she was referring to. It's the crispy R. It's when I say great, or I say it's really getting a crispy. It's an R. It's I don't know. It's not like a pirate R, but it's like there's a real.
Well, say a word with an R in it.
There's some heat on the R. Yeah, like if I say great, that's so great. Great. Normal people, you would just say great. but I guess this one, the crispy R is
Right.
great. Right. So she says this to me, and
Oh,
normally I would think nothing of it and just continue
yeah.
making my breakfast. And I think because I had this
You'd had the she.
the heat of the she moment earlier,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I and again, you sort of will give your siblings stuff that you probably don't give your parents. I looked at her. I was like, I don't know if this is because we're going on week 5 of all, being together and everything else, but let me ask you a question. Who the cares? Who cares how I say it? Who cares? Why do you feel like you need to tell me? I don't. What do you care?
What do you want?
What do you care? What do you want? And she kind of looked at me and she's so sweet. She's just sitting there. She's like, well, it's just that you didn't always do it.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
I was like, well, I do now.
You're like, this is what I've adopted. I like the idea of the suggestion box. I think I'm going to go home and be like, hey, Dad, it's closed.
Yeah.
The thing is but the problem is that somebody has to respect that it's closed. My dad will go, okay, oh God, okay. Like I'm being like a little bit dramatic. Oh, fuck. When I was younger, he used to go, save it for the screen, Camilla. Save it for the screen. Like I was like being such a diva. So annoying. Parents are so annoying. All this.
I know.
It never ends. It never ends.
Especially now that I'm a parent and I wonder, I think you're right. I think that they never think their job is done. And I think that we won't either, which I think is something to consider. I think I'm going to have to I'm going to write a note to myself in 20 years.
Yeah.
Or a little reminder note. But yeah. And I think that they care so much. And so they think that the unsolicited advice thing, they just think is warranted.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's that great thing of like parents being like super hypocritical. It's like my dad would be like, Camilla, have you drunk enough water today? And he'll be saying it like smoking the end of his pack of cigarettes. And I'm like, no. But I'm glad you're on cigarette number 20 asking me. Anywho,
do as I say, not as I do.
Camilla, make sure you wear some sunscreen. And he has a sunscreen with a factor 4 right now. I've never seen someone buy oil. I haven't seen them buy tanning oil since I lived in Texas in 98. My dad's the only one that picked it up from CVS. The reason why there's one off the shelf in CVS
is because
in Los Angeles, my dad got that.
Is it like the Bain de Soleil orange gelée?
No, it's like the old, is it Santra, like the one that really
Tropicana?
smells? Yes, it smells like a coconut hit you in the face.
Oh, yeah. No, like a pina colada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll kind of, yeah.
So the other thing that happened on the really, really positive end of things is I got my hair done. I went to the salon and I got my hair colored and cut. And I got to tell you, not for nothing. I don't know if it's the ceremony of it. I don't know if it's the aftermath, the hair in the bowl. Like my kids always say that too. Like no, like they'll take an at-home haircut, but they really want that shampoo in the bowl at the salon.
Really?
But I got out of there and I was like, I felt like I was walking in slow motion with a wind machine in front of me. Like it was just everything changed. My whole perspective on life changed. Like if I went in and there was storm clouds before I went in there was just bright, sunny sunshine.
Sunshine. There was some sunshine.
There was some sunshine.
That's how I'm speaking. That's how I speak on this pod.
Sure. Yeah, and I was really, really psyched about that. I was very, very happy to get my hair done.
Okay, so here's a funny little tidbit that goes back to what we were talking about before. While they can just assault us with all the unsolicited advice, they do redeem themselves. When I went to check out, I found out that my mother had treated me to my little salon experience.
I guess it's self-care, right? But it's also just there's something that just puts a little extra spring in your step when you're feeling all tidied up.
It's funny because we did start shooting Grey's Anatomy this week.
No beauty for you.
And yes, no beauty for me because, yeah.
You're a doctor.
Well, yes, I'm a doctor, but I can't spoil. But Jo Wilson is, in the first episode, she's a little less makeup than we even usually wear. But it was the first time where I feel like this summer I've like, I woke up in the morning really early to go to work, first filming day, and I looked in the mirror and it was like I could tell on my face how the summer had gone. Do you know what I mean? It was like a map of like where everything had stretched. And I was like, Jesus, like this is a situation. And then I got shown tweeted this picture of me, which I'll put out on the pod, of me when I was little starting the show. And I was like, damn, it's really hard. I've got to tell you, aging. Look at this. I'll tweet this out too.
Oh gosh. Wow. Yeah. Tiny baby.
I know,
tiny
but
baby.
it's hard. It's hard as an actress going into your next season and knowing that you've been this character for a while and you have really aged. You've aged, and every summer just ages. Sure, matures you a little bit more. Every summer matures you a little bit more. And it was the first time this summer I was like, damn, I gotta like get it together somehow.
You're insane. If people could see what I'm looking at, you're like the most beautiful thing in the world, and you have the most beautiful face, and it's just full of life and youth. And I understand that you feel that way, and I disagree.
Well, let's be real. Okay. I sat down on the pod before we started filming, and we're going to talk about beauty today. So I'm going to talk about this right now. I told Jessica I was so excited because I found the touch up my appearance button on this Zoom, and I did a little sideways zoom. Yeah, I clicked it. I couldn't click it all the way because I just ended up a blur and like one eyeball. And I was a little tempted. I was like, that's a good eyeball. That's a good blur. And then I had to take it down to where it's a little realistic. But I feel this is not actually really what. In fact, if I put my hand in front of my face, is it doing it? No, it doesn't do a glitch. It's not that much. But I mean, I felt like I needed just a little wink wink today.
Yeah. You need a little zhuzh.
But isn't it crazy that our technology can kind of lie that much?
Oh, well, I mean.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even on a Zoom, I don't look quite like this. This is really like, I'm tired in here, and the touch up my parents' little zhuzh has kind of made it all disappear.
Yes. Well, I think technology has definitely changed a lot of that, like what's real, what's not. And one of the first times I actually thought, wow, there's probably a very big difference between you used to remember when like you used to only see candid pictures of celebrities because an invasive group of paparazzi took a picture, and they were so priceless because you were like celebrity in the wild.
Oh my God, they used to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, celebrities in the wild.
Yeah. And then there would be where you were meant to see them on a red carpet. And so that was where you saw the people that you looked at in movies and television, right? And I think that was what they looked like, what people looked like. But now everybody's in charge of their own image, and likely most of what's seen is stuff that they've taken themselves and put online or on their social media apps or whatever, in which everything can be altered however you like it to be. And I remember a couple of years ago seeing a picture of someone on a red carpet that I'd only been looking at on social media for a while. And there was a huge disparity. The way that the person looked on the red carpet on real film versus what they had been putting out on their, Instagram page was totally different because of the way that they used filters and, touch up my appearance or whatever, which by the way, I've done.
I understand.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I do sort of feel like it's personal, right? Like my personal opinion is like, you can judge, but you can't like reconfigure.
You know what? Okay, this is really funny you say this because
like it can't be a different head.
Yes. No. But wait, hang on. Let's talk about this. I had a picture of myself that I wanted to just zhuzh a little, right? And Facetune is the only app that I know that is you can kind of zhuzh it a little bit, right? Maybe you smooth out a little lines here and there. But I discovered the button where it's like it can auto just do a whole. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like the button that you can press it and the AI kind of was like, you know what, we can fix kind of this for you, right? Mm-hmm. I swear to God,
wait for this.
Apparently my face is a Picasso because It literally shaved my chin off. Like, I don't know if I have a Buzz Lightyear chin. It shaved my chin down. It gave me, I was like, oh my God, is this what I need done? My eyeballs increased by 500%.
Yeah.
My prices. My lips were like so juicy. And then I had to go like back and forth between it because I was like, what have they done? AI has taken my face and been like, this is not going to work. And has literally showed me like, this sucks on you. And I was like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
This is messed up. I wasn't even asking for that. I wasn't trying to increase my eyeball size. But AI was like, you might want to look into that.
Yeah, you might want to look into that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I had that one time. By the way, I think probably a little more insulting. I was in a big this big Western miniseries, and they did a group picture where it was, I mean, it had to have been 50 else at the time. So they had to put this photo shoot for me, and I take my photo, and I actually was feeling pretty good that day. And it was big, like big hair, big makeup, the anti-Western, and that we wear no makeup and we're in like the dirt all the time. And I see the pictures afterwards. I'm like, I'm totally happy with these pictures. These look great. I'm so like, they look fantastic. And then the billboard comes out, and it was one of the ones on Sunset. So this billboard. And then also they took out pages in Vanity Fair. So it was like really everywhere. And I'm so excited because it's like a big deal for me. And I go to look at it, and I flip through the thing, and I look at it, and I'm like, what the they had stretched me out. Like they had taken me from my head where my hair was and my toes where my little Barbie heels were, and they just balled me up. They gave me an avatar body. I didn't dislike it. It just is not my body. So I had Zoe Saldana's body and avatar. So I had an avatar body, and then same. My hair, I grew more of it. There was so much more of my hair. So much. There was hair everywhere. Not only were my lips juicy, they were a totally different shape. They were like, I get it that people like to overline the lips these days, whatever. Okay, let's do it. But they were like a bow. They were like a big heart on top. They had a big heart. And then like my bottom lip went down to where like the middle of my chin is. I look like one of those, like,
you're like a Bratz doll.
Yeah, I look like a Bratz, exactly like a Bratz
like
doll.
a Slender Man body with a Bratz doll head.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, really new development, because there's a lot of things that I've had issues with about myself that are about due to my insecurity or just, someone else's standard of beauty or whatever. But I actually have never had a complaint about my nose. Like I've been like, I got a good nose. I'm good. Like I don't have any. When you talk about shading it or shout it, what's it called?
Yeah. Oh,
contouring it.
Contouring it. Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't even know what to do, and I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
New nose. I had a new nose. Not my nose. It was not my nose on this billboard or this spread. I had a completely different nose. Again, I'm going to find this image, and you're going to see it.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about that Facetune did to me. It's like I'm Googling like eyeball surgeries after.
But my point is, for you, it was a nameless, faceless AI. There was some motherfucker that looked at me and was like,
hold on. We can't put this out.
We can't put this out. We got to fix her up.
Pull in that nose we saved a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, she is not fit to be.
Obviously.
Yeah, beauty standards.
I want to know if you have ever, because I have a story, have ever kind of lost a role based on your looks. Because I, back in the day, auditioned for a CW show that I did not get. And the casting director's feedback was I was not pretty enough for the CW. I'm going to look directly at the camera here. Excuse you, CW.
Like, says who, first of all?
You know what's funny? Is I was like, what the fuck ever? I was like, whatever. Moving on. It honestly didn't I think because at that point I had so many no's in my career I was like, just joke's on you. Get in line with the rejection.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm sorry. Because that even, I mean, yes, we are absolutely trained to be Teflon,
Teflon.
and have that just be like, okay, well, that whatever. You can't even take it seriously. Because again, it's like
Yeah,
sensitive.
you're like, okay, fine.
But I guess what it brings up is like what is pretty? Like how do we understand what pretty is? What is pretty to that person? Was it like a group think? Like all of them decided that? One person decided that? Like I think that that's sort of where things start, which of course end up being the question about what are the beauty standards and how do they get set and who sets them? And obviously how much they change from, family to family, town to town, city to city, country to country, culture, it all influences what is pretty or beautiful or whatever. I actually very specifically lost a job early in my career because I wasn't thin enough. And I remember I auditioned for it. It was like a rom-com, and it would have been like a big break for me. And I really wanted it. And I worked really, really hard on it. And I went in and I auditioned. And I think I, probably went through 3 different heats, if you will, right? And I
Yeah.
made it up to the director. And the director was this lovely guy who was so awesome. He was like, "You're my pick. Like, absolutely. Like, I think you're fantastic. I think it's gonna be amazing." And my manager said, "Okay, here's the deal. Um, you're the pick. The head of the studio thinks that you need to be thinner. Like they do." And I was like, "Okay." And they said, so they'd like to give you, like, I don't know what it was, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever.
10 days.
Yeah.
Something crazy. What are you going to do? Lose a limb?
Honestly, it was so ridiculous. And again, and it's just so silly when I think back to my younger self, because I'm, part of me thinks to say to her like that, you know what, whatever, not your job. But you don't think that way and you want the job. So I remember they did this like very awkward thing where they said, okay, it's, they didn't say it. They didn't say it explicitly, right? But they said, oh, in 2 weeks, we'd like for Jessica to come in and just have a meeting with the head of the studio, just a meet and greet. And it was a full check-in, like in those 10 days. Could she
It'll be
lose
with
the
a
weight?
scale and a measuring tape, but just ignore those.
I know, and I tried, and oh my gosh, your early 20s, the stupid shit you do that I wish I could take all back, and I would just die if anyone I loved did it. But it was like, I remember there was like this, was it the cabbage soup diet? It was the
oh my God.
There was another one that was like you can eat air and drink air.
The air diet.
The air diet.
Love
and
that.
I remember I did all that I could. But the truth was is that when I was younger, I mean still, but I had
I'm assuming you still did not get this role, by the way. You were the director's pick.
Yeah, the end of the story was that I was given those 10 days and then I went in to meet the head of the studio, and I don't even know if it was because of like whether I was thin. I must not have been thin enough. No, I didn't get the job. And the irony was that the person that did was actually quite well known in the business for having disordered eating, having, issues with disordered eating. So I was like, wow, this is so nuts. But yeah. I mean, so the standard of beauty was thin.
Yeah. I would say it was worse then.
Oh, for sure.
It was definitely worse.
And that's the interesting thing is that when you think about who sets the beauty standards and then you think about how they affect you, while you can say, in this particular case, you can say like, I don't care, like in my personal life, we're in such a weird business because it's then it felt like the difference between working and not, right? You have to conform to the beauty standards. If you don't conform to the beauty standards, then you won't work, which is quite different than, most other situations.
I'm very strange, and I feel like this might be a Sagittarius trait where I'm a little rebellious. So if I was given 10 days to lose weight, the first thing I would do is go eat a hamburger. I'd be like, fuck you. Like, I'd be like, okay, I'll show up on Tuesday. Can't wait. And then I'd hang up and I'd be already in the drive-thru for In-N-Out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just have a little bit of like
I love that.
Don't let yeah I don't even know if that's the way to go with it. I think the better way to go is like, I'm just gonna carry on living my life. I don't think you need to go either way. I'm a little rebellious.
Well, that's the key, right? And that's what you end up at, I think, which is that exactly right. You're going to go live your life, right? You're going to go live a life that is
Yeah,
healthy and in your mind and body. And you're going to look however it is you look. Like you're going to be healthy for you. You're going to be in your body. You're not going
totally.
to try and make your body like somebody else's body because everybody's body is different.
Yeah, I
Um,
also feel like that reaction from me is also about trying to get control back. Whether you are controlling
yeah.
your, you know,
Yeah.
if the feedback's one way or
Oh.
the other, it's like I'm gonna get it back by saying "F you," and now I'm gonna get the animal fries at In-N-Out
Yeah. Which
because
are
you've lost.
delicious.
It's a situation where you've totally lost control. Um,
Yeah, I see. I didn't. I felt the pressure to conform and in my younger years. I don't even think I should say in my younger years. I have felt the pressure to conform and it does a number on me for sure. Yeah, for
yeah, of
sure.
course.
There's ways in which,
Yeah,
I think that like I'm not so convinced that my idea of beauty is mine alone, right? That I came up with what I think is beautiful. I think that I'm heavily influenced by
no,
all the things that are out there in the world and the ways in which you see people being looked at or regarded as beautiful and yeah, for sure, for sure. That's real for me.
yeah. I also feel like we grew up in a time like me as a teen. I was when like Britney Spears came on the scene, and it was like
Mhm.
the low jeans with the
Oh gosh, you need a special bikini wax to wear those things.
totally. You need a bikini wax. You need I it's like Britney had the abs. I mean, there was no one. I was like, I want to be Britney Spears, right? Like I was a couple years younger. I wanted to be Britney. And I felt like right off the bat, like early, which is happening now and happens to everybody, that there was a body type that I did not have, that's what I needed to have.
Yeah. What a bummer.
It's hard because when you have kids too, it's like I look at Hayden and Lucas, both of them. And I made their little bodies. Like the idea that they could hate something about their body, like destroys me and seems absurd too. But
Yeah,
I can't
I
have that
agree.
feeling about myself.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, I know. There's so much to say there, but I think what I'm experiencing for the that I'm observing in looking at it through a parenting eye is that it's really important how you talk to yourself through it. It's really, really important that you're kind to yourself and that you acknowledge the thought. It's like, okay, I'm doing that thing. Like I'm looking at that person and I'm thinking, I wish that I look like them for X, Y, or Z reason. And I'm going to feel that. And then I'm going to dismiss that thought and let it move right on along and not change my day, not change my behavior, not change, me. Which is, by the way, again, it's a fine line, but that doesn't mean to say that you throw everything out, right? Sometimes you get inspired. And I do find makeup and hair and a lot of that kind of stuff really creative. And I can get
Yeah.
inspired by people in the way that they
Yeah. It
do their
feels
hair, their
artistic
makeup. That's
for
fun,
sure.
and I think ultimately, like what did I start with, right? I got my hair cut and colored and it was like a whole new me.
Yeah.
There's something very fun and uplifting about certain aspects of like our rituals, our beautiful, our beauty rituals, our ideas of that. But then there's some really damaging, um, negative self-talk that can happen that I think is, better left behind you.
Do you think as you've gotten older, you feel more pressure in a way or less?
I personally feel less.
Me too.
At the risk of sounding however this sounds, I sort of feel cuter now than I was then.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like,
know.
I don't know. I look at pictures of myself now. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I get it. I get what people do complain about with regards to maturing. Um, but I think what you gain is more than what you lose. If you even
A
lose anything, you
hundred
know?
percent. No. I think I feel cuter now, but I think it's because just I have more confidence.
Yeah.
I don't think it comes from like aesthetically I really am cuter now or my hair
Right,
is
right,
better or whatever. I just
right.
feel like my confidence is a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah, I
right.
agree with that. Do you think that guys deal with it as much as like do you think men deal with it? I do. I think they do, but not in such a different way.
In such a different way, but I definitely think that social media, and we're always going to end up at social media at some point in these conversations. Social media for guys is the same as for girls, but it's like all the workouts, there's a lot of pressure too. A lot because of
Hmm.
social media. That maybe
Yeah.
there wouldn't have been there before necessarily, but there is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have some statistics that we could read on this.
Yeah. Also, I feel like God, in a weird way, that's the other thing I think is interesting about the male female, not comparison, but you know, it bear with me for a second.
No.
Women, like there are these standards of beauty or attractiveness, let's say, for both, people who identify as male and female. And in the female category, it feels like there's so much that you can do, right? Like all these
Mm-hmm.
improvements. There's
Mm-hmm.
a mascara for this, and there's a mascara for that, and there's a
Yeah.
highlighter for this, and a
Yeah.
lowlighter for that. Like there's all this makeup and hair stuff, and it's such a huge business, and you can buy so much, and you can watch so many things that will help you, on your quest to become more attractive. I think there's so many more things that you can buy and things that you can watch that are geared towards women. I
Mm-hmm.
think that men don't get as many things served up to them, which isn't to say that they don't deal with the same insecurities. It's just like there's less being sold to them in terms of
Oh
making it
yeah.
better or feeling better. So then it seems like it pivots to like for guys, I feel like in the guy category these days, you hear about it's like, yeah, the gym or the muscles or the body or whatever. And then it's like the hair. And then I feel like I've been hearing a lot more about, I don't know if it's more like the chin situation. There's a whole
Well,
like
because
jawline.
I think it's like the fillers happening in people's jawlines, where they need that like really
Yeah, that
the
ridge.
L. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more of a C.
I'm more of an O.
I've leaned into the C shape.
By the way, early days, someone said that to me. Someone said that I should get my buccal fat pad removed. And I was like, what the fuck is my buccal fat pad? And like, does that thing just pop out? What happened? What do you mean? What
Yeah,
do you
what
do
do you
with it?
do?
You get surgery. And thank
No, I
God
know.
I mean, thank God I didn't. And thank God I had people around me that was like, that's insane.
Yeah, we're roundies. We're the
I
only
know,
two
round
roundies
faces
left.
unite. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm good. So along the lines of talking about men and women, that it is reported in theconversation.com that body image issues affect close to 40% of men, but many don't get the support that they need. It's estimated that between 30 and 40% of men are anxious about their weight, and that up to 85% are dissatisfied with their muscularity. Many men desire a lean and muscular physique. See, that's what I was saying, which is often seen as synonymous with masculinity. Yeah. So it's like guys want to be ripped
Yeah, I
and
hate that though. I hate
they want to be
this.
ripped with a full head of hair and a nice jawline. And that's like three things, which I'm not taking that away. It's
No.
three things, right? And I think women, it's like, oh my gosh, go down the
It's like
list.
and then.
Yeah, yeah, so many things. And I think that,
Um,
and I think that
yeah.
again, we're going back to social media, right? It's comparison. Comparison. A friend of mine says comparison is the thief of joy. It's true. Whenever you compare yourself to someone else, it sucks your joy right out. You're always going to think someone's got something better or whatever it is. And social media is obviously the most fertile ground for that. All you have to do is, go on at any time, and you're going to see someone who has something more than you do in some direction that you wish you had it. And then you
Mhm.
walk away feeling less than. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And it kind of doesn't even matter what their age is, right? They're going on there and they're seeing that there's something better, something they don't have, and it makes you feel less than. And it's really bummer.
It's interesting because I'm thinking as you're talking about this, I'm thinking, okay, if I had the perfect body, right? The perfect body that I think is potentially the aesthetic for the perfect body. what difference in my day to day would it honestly make? What would it actually like give me, right? I'm still doing a school drop off. Does the perfect like the perfect body is not making a difference there. I'm going to go get my coffee. It's not really affecting my day there either. We go to dinner. Maybe I'm wearing a shorter crop top. I don't know. That's the extent is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What is it? How is it really going to affect your day if you have if you have the perfect face that you've decided that you have? Does it really? Is it really actually going to affect your day if you have it? Because I feel like it won't.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. I think that I believe that your mindset about what you have is the most important thing. So
Yes.
if your mindset is, I have the perfect body for me, I feel great about my body. It's and everyone's again, everyone's idea is different. My body can run 2 miles without breaking a sweat. That's really important to me, and so I have that. And then my mindset's going to be great, and it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's how I feel about it, right? So I think that the journey or like the promised land is getting to the place where whatever it is that you have, you feel great about because that will just make your kid drop off and your coffee later and your dinner later better because you're not weighed down by this idea that you need to be anything other than what you are. You're happy with what you are. You're content. You can focus on other things. You can listen to the conversation. You can listen to the words of the person sitting across from you at dinner because you're not fixating or thinking about something
Yes.
that you don't have that you didn't get right. I mean, I think that's the waste of time. I think that's the
I think
most
that's what I'm getting at. Like I think I'm getting at the idea of what you could be. What would it really bring you if you were that? Like if we were just
yeah.
if we end up being happy with ourselves, that's it. That's awesome. It's not really
Yeah.
gonna affect my life.
Should we go some questions?
Yeah, let's do some questions.
So Matthew writes in, I'm going to be blunt. I'm a 32-year-old man and I'm already losing my hair. I am on every dating app and I wear a hat in all my profile photos. When I meet up for a date with a woman, she thinks I'm catfishing when I show up with my bald head. But no one will swipe right if I show them that I am balding. I feel frustrated. Any advice?
Well, first off, I disagree that no one will swipe right.
Yes, I agree with you.
So I think that if if you love wearing a hat, you feel like you look cute in a hat, have some hat pictures, but have some pictures where you're not wearing a hat too. Not to not catfish people, but because that's what you look like. And there's going to be women that think that you're a little hottie hottie. There's so many hot men with no hair.
Yep.
Hello.
Jason Statham, right?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
There's a million guys with no. I do not think for 1 second that being bald makes you not attractive. There are women out there that are definitely attracted to bald men. So I say rock it.
I also like your idea of like meeting it halfway, which is that if you think you look cute in a hat, wear a hat in a couple of pictures, right? Like there's a lot of pictures up there. And if you have to pick one for your profile, then fine, pick the one that you think is the cutest, but then add in some more where it's all of you.
Exactly. 100%. Yes, love that. Matthew, you're gonna find the right person for you.
The swipe rights are coming.
Yeah, the swipe rights are coming. Okay. Very excited. We have a voicemail to listen to. I've been going to your singing coach, Jess, if you can tell, just for these moments. Just kidding. Okay. Okay, let's play it. This is from Parker.
Hey, Camilla and Jessica. My name's Parker. First, I'm loving the pod. It's amazing. And second, I was just wondering if you'll have any, words of encouragement or advice on dealing with beauty standards, specifically postpartum era. I'm a new-ish mom. My daughter's almost 17 months. And, I'm just always comparing myself to other moms on social media or even just friends who just seem to kind of bounce back quicker than I have, if that makes sense. Anyways, I would just love to hear your thoughts on this as some other mamas. All right, thanks. I love you guys. Bye.
I know I keep saying it, but I just
Aw.
love hearing the crew's voice.
Yeah, I do too. I love it. Oh my gosh, Parker, I've been there. And also congratulations because you have a baby.
I know, 17 months. That's cute. First off, 17 months. You just
I
gave
know.
birth. It's 17
Yeah.
months.
Be kind to yourself. Everybody's different.
Here's what I think. Do yourself a favor, first of all, and unfollow all the accounts that are like, this is me 2 days after a baby and I have abs. Just for now. Okay, you can always refollow them if you love them. For now, we're going to mute those accounts. Find accounts that you feel are like more your vibe, not making you feel like when you look at them. And bring, because I know that as moms, we are scrolling through our phone and we're feeding all these images into our brains and it doesn't help. So I think just literally, like, I know it's hard to log off. So I'm not saying log off. I'm saying log off of those accounts and follow accounts that you feel are where more you're at. It's really hard to say, like, don't feel the pressure, because we all feel that pressure. It's so annoying. I have to say, I did not bounce back.
So here's what I feel. I completely agree with Camilla. I think anybody that doesn't make you feel fantastic, you can absolutely mute. I do it all the time. And then I absolutely revisit it again and go right back to it. But if it's hitting you in a certain way for this period of time in your life, then so be it. So take a little pressure off yourself and I don't know, do what you need to do and be with that little baby. It's the most important part. And a lot of times when you take your like the pressure off, you'll get to where you want to get to a little easier. It's just like sometimes it's too much pressure.
Basically, long story short here, ladies, like, you just did something incredible. And I feel you. There wasn't, the bounce back never happened for me, and that's fine. I don't care. I've moved on. The bounce back never happened for me, and that's fine. I don't care. I've moved on. And I think women listening that feel the exact same way, didn't bounce back, haven't jumped, haven't gotten a six pack or found, didn't lose all the weight by, breastfeeding. You also hear that too. You lose all the weight by breastfeeding. So I was on the couch breastfeeding being like, wow, is this like, me doing, what is it? CrossFit? It's basically me doing CrossFit on the couch while I'm breastfeeding. It was a lie for me. I didn't lose a single pound breastfeeding. It's all good, you guys.
Yeah.
It's all good. I want the crew to know you're fucking gorgeous.
Agree. So I think that this was just a nice little, catch up, stroll down memory lane, an examination of how we were put together and what we come to aspire to. And I think that now we can call it
The end of the episode.